I was wrong. I was wrong, so very wrong. How could I have been so wrong? I was only trying to help, but everything went wrong. You see, our people have been waiting so long for a Messiah to come, to rid Israel of these terrible Roman oppressors. The Master said he was the Messiah, and I believed him. I'm only guilty of impatience, of trying to give him a little push into assuming his rightful kingship. Things had been going so well. Why, last Sunday when we came into Jerusalem, people were throwing their coats and branches in front of him on the path and shouting, "Blessed is the King of Israel. Blessed is the King who comes in the name of the Lord." They were ready for him to assume his kingship. I was surprised he didn't step up right then and take over and show his authority. I was really pleased when he overthrew the tables in the temple and of the money changers, and I thought now he's beginning to really show his authority. Then things started to slow down. The Master was more concerned about celebrating the Passover with us. Now, I know that's important because the Passover is an important holiday for us. But I was just in a hurry. I just wanted things to happen faster. So I decided if Jesus won't go after this kingship, that I would bring his enemies to him. That would make it easier. So I went to the chief priests, and I asked them how much they would give me to lead them to Jesus. Now, I know what you're thinking. This is Judas talking. We've heard about him. He's been known to be a little lax, shall we say, with the group's funds. But this time it wasn't about the money. It was about making Jesus king. Well, truth be told, I was hoping that once Jesus did become king, that maybe he would have a job for me in his court. But first he had to be king. So I agreed with the priests on 30 pieces of silver. Things started to slow down after that. I'm wrong. Sorry. Oh, I thought what fools these people were for paying me to lead them to Jesus, when in fact, I was leading them into a trap. They were going to be overthrown. Turns out I was the fool. This whole day had been rather strange. It started out normal at first, but quickly changed. The Master had asked Peter and John to prepare a room for us to celebrate the Feast of Unleavened Bread together. When we went to the room, we did what we usually do. We removed our shoes and we reclined at the table. And so far, things were normal. But then the Master did something unusual. He got up and removed his outer garment, tied a towel around his waist, and began washing our feet. Now, I thought that soon he's going to be king. Why is he doing the job of a servant? The Master explained that he was doing this to set an example for us, that you can never be too great to serve others. And I thought he's going to be a wonderful king. After he had washed everyone's feet, he reclined at the table with us and we proceeded with our meal. When we finished eating, he did another strange thing. He took the bread and blessed it and said, "This is my body." And then he took the wine and blessed it and said, "This is my blood. Do this to remember me." That didn't make any sense to me at all. But before I could try to figure things out, the master said that one of us would betray him. That sent a shockwave through the group, and everybody was looking at the other person next to him and at themselves, saying, "Master, is it I?" The master said it was the one to whom he would give the bread dipped in the sauce. When I heard that word betray, I thought that was a little strong. But then I thought, that's probably the word the authorities would use, and Jesus was just using their word. Since he always seemed to know what was going to happen before it really happened, I figured he really didn't mean betray. I was feeling good, because dipping the bread in the sauce is something that is done for an honored guest. I was being honored. And when the master gave me the bread, he had that look of love in his eyes. And I thought, he knows what I'm going to do, and he's grateful. When he said, "Go and do what you must do," I hurried out, eager to get things started. Oh, this was going to be an exciting evening. Jesus was going to be the king. Then things started to go wrong. I took the soldiers to a garden where I knew everyone would be. And when I saw Jesus, I went up and kissed him. That was the signal that I had arranged with the soldiers. I thought, now things are going to get started. But Jesus said, "Judas, do you betray me with a kiss?" That word betray again. And I thought, "Master, you know I'm helping you." Some soldiers went up to arrest the master, and he did not resist. But Peter cut off the ear of the servant of the high priest, and I thought, good for you, Peter, you get things going. But the master told the disciples not to resist, and he healed the man's ear. Things went downhill after that. Instead of trying to help the master, all of the disciples ran away. The soldiers arrested him and took him away. I followed at a safe distance to see where they were taking him. They took him to the home of Caiaphas, the high priest. I crept around in the shadows until I found a place where it was an open window and I could hear pretty well what they were saying. I listened as best I could. It seemed that all of the leading priests and the entire high council were there. I heard someone ask the master, "Are you the Messiah, the Son of the blessed God?" And he answered, "I am." And I thought, Jesus, the Messiah is supposed to be saving his people. Why aren't you doing something? Why don't you resist? Why don't you call down a legion of angels to help you? Then things went from bad to worse. Caiaphas accused him of blasphemy, and they all condemned him to death. Death. Jesus, why don't you resist? I don't want you to die. You're my friend. I was just trying to help you. I want you to be the king. You said I betrayed you. I think you betrayed me. You said you were the Messiah. And then when you could have assumed the authority, you did nothing. You said nothing. You didn't even defend yourself. Why? Why? Why didn't you just stick to healing people and teaching? We need good healers and teachers. Why do you not resist? Why did you say that you were the Messiah and then do nothing? Why did you let us believe that you would rid us of the Roman occupiers and then stand helpless before the council? Am I missing something here? I just don't understand. This money that I took has become blood money. I was taking it to help Jesus. I didn't want things to go this way. I just wanted him to be the king. I'm going to take the money back. I'm going to tell them I don't want blood money. Maybe that will help ease the guilt feelings that I have and this sick feeling in the pit of my stomach. How can I live with myself knowing that I was responsible for the death of my friend? I didn't want it to happen this way. How could I have been so wrong? How could I have been so wrong?